etc., you call it as resume. Right? Resume is another word which talks about something you have stopped, you have to start again. Okay, the program stopped because of rain, it is going to resume, now the rain is stopped. So resume is a different meaning, resume has a different meaning. What you are talking is resume, they both shares the same spelling, but the meaning is different, the pronunciation is also different. So we call it as resume here. The resume is also sometimes called curriculum vitae, curriculum vitae vitae, or biodata, depending on whatever, however you feel like you can name it, right? So now we'll see how we can effectively build a resume for applying for various positions, right? So hope I'm audible. I'm moving on to the next slide. Is the slide presentation, are you able to see the presentation? Okay, so next slide. So now the reasons we look for a job. Why do we look for a job? Okay, somebody who is seeking the job after college, after completing your graduation, you may want to go for a career. You first-time job seeker who wants to pick up a job after completing their education. Recently unemployed or laid off. Unemployed, some company has shut down, they told their employees to go, or laid off. Some company is not doing well, running on a loss, so they want to, 100 employees are working, they want to lay off 50 employees. So they tell the 50 employees to go, that we cannot accommodate you in the organization, we cannot pay you, so we are laying you off. So if you get laid off, or if you are unemployed, you are going to seek a job, you are going to look for a job. Or underemployed, somebody who is already working but not getting the salary what he is deserving, right? Somebody who is doing a lot of work of 2-3 people, but he is not paid well, he also wants to change a job, he or she also wants to change a job. Underemployed, seeking a different job or occupation. Maybe what you are doing right now is not your field of work. Just for the sake of earning some income, you have picked up the job, but you want to change because you want to really get into the line what you want to, what you are specialized in, what is your specialty, right? Returning to work after extended period. Sometimes we also take a break due to some personal work, health issues, or going for studies, etc. So once you come back after 2 years or 3 years, the situation has changed in the office, so you want to take up a new job. So that also calls for a change of job. Or stagnancy at work, means you are in the same position for more than 2 years and 3 years, doing the same routine job. You are really sick of that job. You have learned all the work, everything is by heart. The moment you enter the office, you know what to do, you finish everything on time, every time perfect, you have nothing new to do at work. That also put you in some kind of boredom. You don't want to repeat the same work every day, you want to learn something new, you want to explore something new, you go for a new job, right? These are the some of the reasons for which you want to go for a change, want to change your job. Is there any other reason which you feel for which we change a job? You can think of anybody. I'll give you 1 minute. इसके अलावा कोई और रीजन है जिसके लिए हम जॉब चेंज चाहते हैं? Anything else you think of? Yes, no? We can write it on the chat box. Okay, nobody. I'll go ahead. Now ask yourself, okay, so I think this Windows, sorry. Okay, so what am I doing at the office, right? What is the kind of work I'm doing? What skills or the training do I move forward? For example, I'm working as a trainer, right? Now the trainer ke next level is a training coordination, right? So if I want to move to the training coordinator position, I need to see what are the skills or any special training which I need to take to move on to that position, to do that job, right? You need to see where can I find help during my job search. When I'm doing the job search, where do I get the help from? What I mean, for a particular job, what are the skills I require? What are the technical as well as professional skills I require? Where do I get these, all these things? We need to probe in. If you want to make a change in your career, you want to change your job, you need to think about all these points. Where am I going to get the information from, right? Then, so for making a change, for getting into any industry, you need 3 types of skills, right? A skill is anything you can do right now. What do you mean by skill? Suppose I want to become a chef in a hotel. What do I need to know? I need to know how to cook different types of cuisines, like Indian हो गया या Chinese हो गया या whatever it is, right? So how can I make these cuisines? I mean, I need to know the techniques. Or if I want to become a programmer in computer, so I need to know the computer programming language. I want to become a videographer. I need to know how to shoot the videos, or a choreographer, I need to know the dance. Those are the skills. If you have those skills, you can get into that particular kind of job. Those are called job content skills. Whatever job you are going to do, उसकी relevant skills आपको होना चाहिए. अगर you want to become a trainer, you need to know the training skills. You need to have the training skills, right? And you need to have the training skills on a particular topic. Like English teacher, you need to be good in English. If you want to become a yoga teacher, you need to be good at yoga, some kind of certification or some kind of experience in conducting yoga sessions, right? Then the transferable skills. The transferable skills are those skills which go along with you wherever you go. Now, for example, communication skill is a transferable skills. Communication, it's once inbuilt personality में अंदर है. Okay, you don't have to do a special research or special coaching for that. Whatever it comes as automatically. You have learned it over a period of time. For example, interpersonal skills. So those are transferable skills. That is not specific to particular organization. So these skills you carry along with you whichever organization you want to move. For example, you have become a trainer and you have served for 15 years in training domain only. Now you don't want to train anymore. Your voice doesn't permit. You cannot talk loudly to take a class. So you want to move into an admin kind of job. For admin kind of job के लिए you don't need a teaching skills, but you need those transferable skills which are your communication skills, interpersonal skills, IT skills, and other relevant skills, right? Well, the soft skill is your personal positive attitude, objection handling, negotiation skills, all that. So we'll see them in detail. The job content skill is like welding. For example, welder, उनको welding आना चाहिए. Okay, taking a pulse reading, patient का pulse measure करने के लिए they need to have completed a basic course on managing the patients, or record keeping, maintaining the record, उसके कुछ कोर्स किया होना चाहिए. Operating a machine, so machine operation का कुछ कोर्स किया होना चाहिए. Only then they can do this kind of work. So the job content skills are specific to a job or an occupation, right? So the next one is the transferable skills are the organization skills, management skills, for example, budgeting, analytics. These skills you already have, which will carry along with you wherever you go. So this circle defines it. The transferable skills are the traits and competencies that can be seamlessly transferred from one job to another job, right? So these skills are already there in you, which you will take it along with you whichever organization you go. The clerical skills, management skills, interpersonal skills, general skills. General skills में multitasking आता है, organizations आता है, creativity आता है. So all these things. So you carry along with you, right? Then comes your soft skills. The soft skills it covers your positive attitude, resolving conflict between two people. When you're working in a team, when you're working with 5-6 people along with you, there's always a conflict. You know what is a conflict? एक दूसरे से सहमत नहीं होना. I mean, you don't agree with my point, I don't agree with your point. That there comes a conflict. उसको कैसे resolve करना है? दो skills you need to develop. Initiative से time management and public speaking in front of public. So what we are doing is also kind of public speaking. We are addressing some 20-25 odd audiences, right? So these are the soft skills. All three skills are equally important for any kind of job you are going to do, whichever organization you do, right? Job specific skills and transferable skills, and also the soft skills, right? So then do I really need a resume? Okay, why do I need a resume? Resume is, for example, imagine a manufacturing company who is manufacturing a beauty product, a powder, talcum powder. Unless and until I do marketing, I cannot sell the product, right? The market launch nahi karenge, the people will not come to know of the products and it will not be sold, right? So manufacturing company ka yahi hai ki whatever product I am using and manufacturing should hit the market and people buy it and make revenue for that, right? So this is a similar manner. The resume is a kind of a marketing tool to exhibit the skills you possess. Whatever skills you possess, you are exhibiting it through the resume so that the employer see your resume, understand the skills what you are having, and then next level, if he is convinced that you have all the experience and the skills for a particular position which he has a requirement, he will call you for the next level of interview. The first the first selection happens based on your resume. They will frame in the mind that this candidate is having all the required skills in terms of technical skills, the soft skills, and the other skills for the job what we are requiring, the position what we are going to fill, and this candidate can be called for next level of interview. For example, if there is an advertisement asking for a French teacher and you become an English teacher, if you apply for that position, will you get the job? Will you be called for an interview? No, because the requirement does not match. You don't fit in their requirement. They want somebody who knows French, but you do not know French, so you cannot fit into. So while you're applying also, you need to see the requirement of the employer, and you have to see whether I will fit into this requirement or not, and then you have to apply. Otherwise, if you keep on applying, and if you don't get the job, then you should not feel demotivated, because the first itself you are doing the wrong thing, that you don't fit into that requirement and you are applying for that job, right? And similarly, suppose if you have many skills, right? You are an English teacher and you are also a certified yoga trainer, and there are two requirements ads coming from different schools or any training institute. One is asking for a trained yoga teacher. Now when you are going to write a resume, make a resume, your resume should have, you should have two resumes, one highlighting your English experience, English teaching experience, the other one highlighting your yoga teaching experience. So suppose if you have created only one resume which is talking high about English teaching and very few points about yoga teaching, you may get selected, may not get selected for the next round, because whatever is the requirement, your resume should highlight more about that particular requirement, not the other details, right? So moving on to the next, of course, to market yourself, to market, for getting into the job, for getting into the job market, you need the resume, right? Now here, what I was talking about, the activity is, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Imagine you are a teacher and you're looking for a job change and want to apply for new jobs. I want all of you to participate in this, right? And we will share whatever, after you finish this activity, we'll ask 1 or 2 people to unmute yourself and speak up about what you have written. So you are a trainer and you're looking for a job change and I want to apply for new jobs. Build your resume using the following words. I've given few words down below. Using using these words, you need to frame a resume, okay, for a position of a job, right? Reside means rehna, residing. Graduate, volleyball. Freestyle, music. Dedicated, positive. Yoga, students. Experience, achieved and language. These are different words. इस words को use करके you need to frame a resume. All these words should be part of your resume. You have to make a meaningful sentence using these words, which will tell about yourself, which will help you to market yourself. Do you understand my question here? So I'll give you, it is 16:20 now, 4:20 now. We'll take 3 minutes, finish the activity. We'll talk to 1 or 2 people to read it out what they have written. Please, all of you participate in this activity. It's good for you to make this program a little more interesting. Rather than we keep talking, I want you to participate in this activity, please. All of you, start writing the sentences, making the sentences using these words: reside, graduate, volleyball, freestyle, music, dedicated, positive, yoga, students, experience, achieved and languages. Start, please. Hope the question is clear to all of you. Is it done? Can we have you? Anybody wants to share, please? Yes, please. Anybody wants to share? Shivanand, Madhuri, Mrs. Usha Singh, Abhishek. Hello. Are you all there? Okay, yeah. Yes, you can unmute and talk, Jabanlal. Hello? Hello? Nobody? You are not playing this activity? Hello? Usha, Mrs. Usha? I think we'll go ahead, Rupa. Hello? Who's Arul? I think nobody has come back to us. I think they don't have paper, pen, or they can't with mobile. I have no clue what's happening. They really understood the question or not. Guninderjeet, Jitendra Kumar, are you all there? Okay, maybe if you want to share in the end of the session, you can waste time. We have you can share it at the end of the session, right? Towards the end, once you finish the session. Yeah. Going to the next slide. A well-written suppose resume is important to project market yourself to that for job postings. Okay, so a well-written resume will allow you to showcase your skills. Okay, you can put down all your skills. I can do this, I can do that. I'm a golf player, I'm a volleyball player, I cook, I am interested in photography, picture, all that you can mention there. Target the employer's need. At the same time, you need to see the resume whom you are sending to is what is the requirement, understand that, and then you send it, right? If there is a mismatch in the requirement, then you will not get selected for the next round, right? Gives you a competitive edge. You need to be very clear about what you are going to write about your whatever skills you have, you write it. Gets you to an interview. Resume will be appealing to the employers, make them express them, so you get a 40 of in-face interview or an online so it has to be well written. The person, right? So next, keep 40% of the hiring managers, right? Whoever is in the recruitment, HR managers spend less than a minute reviewing a resume. They must have come across thousands of resumes. So it will just take them 1 minute to glance through your resume and understand whether this person is suitable for the position or not, right? So they are well versed with that. The very catchy words only they look at in the resume and see whether you have that potential or not for that particular job, right? The next one is key resume trends. Some of the mistakes that we do in the while writing the resumes are 77% of the people make grammatical mistake or the typing mistakes, typing errors, the spelling spell click. 77% of people do that. The 75% of people lies on resume. I don't know many skills. Resume I put, I know this, I know that. But when it comes to face-to-face interview, ask you some practical questions on those topics जिसमें आपने fake मारा है, fake information दिया है, you will get caught there because you will not have any information about that particular topic. So never ever lie in the resume. Just mention only those things what you really know, what you really have studied, what you have really has done, right? Unprofessional emails, right? The emails should always have your name and the date of birth, the name and the year or sim, chinku, pinku, वो सब जो ना those unprofessional emails आप मत करिएगा. Don't use those words. Always have a professional email which mentions your name with a date of birth or some numbers, right? It can have numbers or may not have numbers, but it needs to be professional, right? Not with your pet name and other things, right? Now, without 34% without quantifiable results, it's not framed in such a manner that they cannot even go for the next round of selections, right? 25% long paragraph subject. Do not put long paragraphs in your resume. Nobody has the patience to read those long paragraphs. Make it a bullet point always. एक points wise लिखो. It will make more appealing, right? 18% are generic resume. Generic means पूरा अपना whatever they have done, they will put everything that will not match the requirement of the employer. Requirement of the employer के हिसाब से you need to change your resume and send it. And 17% is exceeding 2 pages. Make your resume as short and simple as possible. Fit it into only 2 pages so that जो HR मैनेजर्स है उनकी पेशेंस ना लूज करें स्टडिंग अबाउट रीडिंग अबाउट 3 to 4 pages of your resume. Make it short and crispy, right? The second analysis what they have done is performance rates of resumes में 250 people average number of resumes submitted for a corporate job opening. Okay, अगर 250 resumes आते हैं, 4 to 6 people are called for the interview and only one will get selected with the job offer. That means the rest of the other profiles does not fit the requirement of the organization or their resumes does not. You can think of anything. Requirement fit नहीं करते or your resumes does not show those skills what you really have, what they really want, right? Could be anything. So the strike rate of they go out of 250, only 4 to 6 calls for a call for an interview, out of which only one get selected. That is the reality in life. So the third survey was most efficient resume approaches are start your sentence with the action verbs. What you have done, you start with the managed account receivable or trained 2000 students. So it should be starting with the action verbs. Send resume between 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Before they start, the HR managers start their work, you send your resume between 6 to 10. Once they get into their daily task, they will not even look at your resume. Once they are busy with the other work, mail they check very rarely. So if they don't check the mail, they don't see your resume. So send it between 6 to 10. Okay. Send resumes within 1 to 4 days of posting. Okay, job posting, wherever you see job posting can be either in the organization's website or in the job portal. So wherever you come across, send it within 1 to 4 days of posting. By the time they would have received many applications, right? Include key skill section. Your resume should have basically 3 to 4 sections. One will have personal information, your education, your work experience, your objective of the resume, and also the different key skills you possess, right? And do not use personal pronouns. Don't use I in many places. Personal. Include strong leadership oriented words, right? Wordings जो है डिक्शनरी में देके गूगल करके use a strong words which will depict your leadership skills, communication skills, etc. Avoid team player face. Don't write I'm a team player. You should not say. They should find out whether you are a team player or not, right? Demonstrate results with numbers. So if you say that I have help my organization in achieving the sales target, right? So ये थोड़ा सा generic हो गया. So if you have been part of the sales team, you can say I have contributed 15% of our overall sales, or I have contributed about 28% of the overall sales. So if you tell the numbers, that will be more appealing rather than making a generic statement, I have contributed to the sales of the organization. No. Use keywords and industry jargon. So check करो industry में क्या क्या words use होता है relating to that particular work. Use those keywords and the jargons, right? Make use of them in your resume while writing the resume. So उसकी percentage अगर देखोगे तो only 29% people are using keywords and jargons. Only 40% people are demonstrating results with numbers. So if you see the percentage, not many people are using it. But yeah, if you want to make your resume very effective, you need to keep in mind these points and make your resume. These are the researches from various websites we have taken. So the analysis being shared with you, right? So the next slide is current resume trends. So I'll stop here. I will ask Roopa to continue with what are the current resume trends, what is there for you. So she will take you through the rest of the session, right? So Roopa, all yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Arun, for setting the pace of this presentation. That people are gaining from this session. Remember, the session is, while it is upon resume building, and all of you are aware that today we have lot of online applications and builders which are available today, where we can actually put in our data and can get the resume built. So a person who knows a little bit of English, who is not very well versed with English also, can get a very effective resume. So today, as Arun may have already spoken upon this, that we are not talking about how you have to write your resumes. We would like to highlight on the point that what should go inside your resume to make it more effective, which is not right now very effective. Right, so effectivity or effectiveness of that particular resume needs to be enhanced. Now, when we talk about the current resume trends, it is talking about from the perspective that in today's world. So, for example, we are right now in a year 2022. So, 2022, what type of changes is made and what type of changes are expected by the company from an individual's perspective? What resume should be portraying for an individual? So it is not that traditional resume building which we used to do when we were like 5 years back or 10 years back. So what has changed? Okay, what needs to be emphasized? How many types of resumes are available today in the market, and when we should use which one? So these are the things which we will look at this particular session now. Okay, so next slide, Arun. The first slide, which is on the current resume trend, is basically on the field specific resume. This is again being said earlier also, that we need to understand where we want to share our resume to. So for example, today we are in a school industry, or maybe we are into an education sector. But now I want to move into the same education sector, but not in schools, but I want to move into the content delivery. Or I wanted to move from a school training to a particular training which is basically into the corporate training. So when I talk about that, that means we need to see what type of sector, what type of skills is required in the particular job where we are moving to. So when we look at that, when we look at the job requirement, at that moment we come to know what type of tweaking, what type of modification is required in the resume, which I need to share it with the industry specific field. So when we say tailoring your resume to specific industry and career field, it depends upon where you're applying, which company you're applying to, or which position you're applying to. So your standard resume will not cater to that demand where wherein right now you were a teacher and you had made a resume of a teacher's experience and everything, but how will you show the experience of a content development if rather you want to move into a different sector altogether? So that is something which needs to be balanced out here. You need to always do a very, very thorough check for the job which you're applying for. So you may have gone into the different job portals, you may have seen HR consultancy reaching out to you that this is a job available, this is a vacancy in a particular industry or a company. So have you done your own homework? Have you done your own background research about what is that industry, what is that company all about? What are they actually, what is their past trends in the last 5 years, okay? What type of job vacancy you want to go for? And if there is a vacancy, what is the skill requirement out there? So this type of minute managing of the data and understanding before we put on our resume to that vacancy is really important. Remember, upon this basically your interaction with that HR manager or the HR consultancy is dependent. So if you see the last point, it says 54% of the companies say they have talent shortages, suggesting a need. So today we definitely are on the talent shortage. So when we say talent shortage, it doesn't mean that we have manpower shortage. We have manpower in the company, in the industry and across the country. Okay, we do have manpower. We have a lot of people who are unemployed today. But we have the shortage of a talent. So if we don't project that talent through our resumes, through our own skill set, we are not making ourselves capable enough for the industry or for the vacancy for which we are targeting. So that is basically the point field specific resume means here. Next slide, Arun. Now, when we start making a resume, at times you may have seen people make essays. People make 3 to 4 pages of resume. They put on every other information what they want to really take it to the HR manager for hiring. And remember, HR manager doesn't have a time for that. HR manager are very, very occupied. For one particular vacancy, they make 1,000 resumes. So how will they actually go through this complete 4 pages of resume which you have sent? So that's very important that we should always see that we put that particular complete 4 pages into 1 pager or maximum 2, not more than that. Because remember, what is important to showcase? The importance of your work experience, importance of your education, your skill set and your personality traits are important. So these are the important areas which are basically scanned by the HR managers and are basically focused upon. So your time should go in highlighting those in a very crisp and very balanced manner. Okay. So when we talk about that, definitely your capabilities needs to be customized with the position which you are applying for. So when I say capabilities, it basically means what type of traits you have, what type of traits company wants. So for example, a company is looking for a sales manager, and the sales manager needs to actually go onto the field, work with a particular team of let's say 10 different people. So your requirement basically is very clear that they have sales targets. Definitely they have quarterly targets. They have to go onto the field for running that targets. They have to the sales manager needs to also manage the team. So when it is clear, that means your complete resume skill set should be married with it. So when I say that means you should have to project whether you can handle your team or not, whether you have the capability of managing the team and getting the targets at the same time. So that is very important to showcase through the work which you have done. So your value proposition, where your skills and qualities needs to be highlighted, but in a very limited amount of words, which needs to be catched by your HR manager. Sorry. Next slide, Arun. So when we talk about the keep it short, now there are certain tips which we really wanted to tell you about this. Starting from the contact information. So contact information, you all understand what is meant by that. Starting from your email addresses, your phone numbers, your mobile numbers. Now, remember, there are certain people. What they do is they generally make their email addresses at the time when they were in school, or maybe they're in colleges. Okay, so when you have made your email address at the school or college, that would be a very kiddish type of an email address which you may have made. You may have made, you may not have made. I'm not saying everybody does that. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you here is that your email address should reflect the maturity and the sincerity. That is the first impression which basically an HR manager gets, or company gets. So your email addresses needs to be very professional, needs to highlight who you are and what type of mature articulation you have. As we have already said, that action verbs needs to be used. So if you're writing something like, I was responsible for inventory, so rather than writing like that, you should say like this: managed store inventory with regular hard counts and use of computer database. So it basically tells very clearly to the HR that you have done a work with a particular database, and also you have the computer skills, which basically reflects that particular individuality of maintaining the store inventory. So that is a type of from that particular resume sentences. And of course, you've spoken about the customization, that obviously one size doesn't fit all. Okay, so you need to tailor your resume with what requirement you are actually sending your resume for. Next slide, Aaron. Apart from that, we also have to see what type of format we are looking at. So at times people do what? They actually go in for a lot of colorful formats, you know. They have paragraphs and paragraphs over the cover letters, and they do not put bullet points. So if you're not putting bullet points, if you're basically not segregating the data in a proper sequential manner, then obviously people get lost. Okay, they do not understand what you're trying to project through your resume. They don't have time, first of all, and even it will not be picked up. A person will pick up your resume, will look into that, and will feel bored. That what's happening, like why he's talking so much about or bragging so much about himself or herself. Okay, so whenever you have to really highlight certain traits, certain skills, use bullet points, use little bold little letters which can be bold or underlined. Okay, then as we said that there would be cases, or there would be instances in certain companies where you don't require to put your date of birth. Maybe you not have to put the age as well. I'm not saying everywhere it is not asked, but most of the times companies do not ask for it, do not expect that you write date of birth. But if categorically it is said at the time of the vacancy, you know, you have to mention what's your date of birth or an age, then you mention. Otherwise you don't have to mention your age unless it is being specifically requested for. Okay. Nowadays, as we are actually going for new technologies, people think that, you know, fancy resumes with fancy designs and colors and with fancy fonts, it will look very appreciative, or it will appealing or alluring. No, it doesn't matter. You know, HR manager just have to look at what is the skill set you have, what is the experience you have. So if you write a traditional Times New Roman, just put a font size of 9 to 12 depending upon what type of document you are putting up into. And if you just go on for the easy formatting tips like italics, bold, or maybe simple underline, that really helps. That's a simple, sober and very decent resume building which you can do, rather than putting fancy colors and different type of animated things into the resume. Okay, when we write the objective onto a resume, most of the time people write very generic statements. Okay, I look forward to have, you know, being a team leader, or maybe a project lead, or maybe in the next 5 years or something. So you don't have to be like this. You need to tailor your objective as per what is employer's requirement, what is the vacancy you are looking at. So if the employer is looking at a sales manager, then your objective needs to be weaved around that sales manager profile, and it has to be very, very specific. rather than saying I will be a sales manager who will take care of my team and being a team lead, I will do this, this, this. Nobody is interested in understanding that. They just want to understand, being a sales manager, what is your first task, or what is the basic one aim or a goal which you would like to achieve. That's what they require. So it totally depends how you customize, your resume becomes effective. And very, very important part is that every time whenever you're making a resume, or when we are updating a resume, statistics, numbers, quantifiable data really plays a lot. Okay, so you have to put on your numbers, your percentages with respect to what you have achieved in your past experiences. If you are newcomer in the industry, then definitely you don't have those experiences, but you have done certain co-curricular activities or maybe certain projects as a part of your study. So you can mention those type of things as a part of as a part of statistics study. So you need to understand that your resume should reflect who you are, what you have done till now. It should not reflect somebody artificial. Okay. You need to also understand that when you make a resume, we need to be very, very specific about the grammatical and spelling errors. We cannot afford to do that. One spelling mistake or a grammar error will lead a bad impression to the manager or to the company where you're applying for, because these are certain things which are basic hygiene factors of the resume building, and we need to take care of it. And we know there are a lot of tools available today, so we can always use them. Next slide, please, Arun. Okay, so that was upon what all things we need to do for the resume building. And today, as we know that lot is going on social media, we have a lot of social media sites where people are applying, companies are inviting people to apply, people are applying, and there are and even the verification check or the background check of the candidates are being done on social media sites too. So if you are a person who is very active on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Insta, or whatever social media sites you're using, you need to understand what type of data or what type of posts you basically make on a timely basis. Because if your recruiter is checking your is actually verifying your data, or a background check is being done through the social media sites, they will also see what type of posts you are putting onto on this particular social media sites, and that creates an impression. Okay, so if you have a questionable content or a behavior which is not entertained by the employers at all, then that your resume being effective will also will not get you into an interview. Okay, next slide, please. Apart from that, we have something known as dynamic words and quantifiable achievements. We have already spoken about it, but yeah, we need to also understand that at times we don't know what type of words or what type of phrases we should use. So best thing is that wherever you're applying, so there is a company, it is a vacancy, you're applying for that, go for the company's website. Okay, understand what that company does. Okay, what type of vision and mission they are into, and try to weave those words in your resume. Take those keywords, use those keywords or key terms, and put that as a part of your resume. That would make the resume more effective, and it will be more weaved around the vacancy of the company, and HR manager will get a catch on that particular resume that this is a person who really understands what our company's mission or vision is. So this is one very, very particular thing which most of us doesn't work on. Okay. And even in fact, there are a lot of people who just write, I'm very good at communication, I can lead the team, I'm a very great leader. This is something like bragging about yourself. Self-promotion is something which is not required nowadays. If you have the abilities and capabilities, you need to show that particular thing through the work which you have done or the experience, or maybe when you are called for an interview by projecting that in the interview. But of course, you cannot brag about yourself and being self-promoted and being an advertisement for yourself. I am this, I am that. You need to be a little subtle with the language which you are using. Right? Next slide, Adam. Apart from that, we need to also showcase our personality through writing certain catchy words. So if you go through as I've said, social media is one area where we actually work a lot nowadays. 91% of employers believe that soft skills are critical today. So while you have very good hard skills, very good domain skills, but if you are lacking on the soft skills, that is something which you need to really improve upon, and you need to showcase it. So something like communication, definitely, something like emotional intelligence, listening skills, ability to work with the team or in the team. Okay, these type of things are certain areas which HR managers always look forward to. So you need to really portray that through the resume without even getting into an interview. So these are certain qualities and personality traits which HR managers today are looking forward to. So while your domain skills are important, soft skills are equally important. Yeah. Next slide, Aaron. If you have please any questions, you can ask at the end. We can address that in the next at the end by taking 5 minutes for the question answers. The next one is a very important one. I think most of you know about it now because it's an application tracking system. So today, people are not, HR managers and the companies are not working manually to filter out what kind of resumes are the best, or shortlisting needs to be done through or from that lot of resumes which they get. They have something known as AMIS, which is application tracking system. Today, every other company has this tracking system, and you can see we have also mentioned some of the very popular application software solutions also here for your reference. Now, these application system, what they does is when they get, let's say, 1,000 resumes for a particular job, HR manager, they just put those resumes and upload them onto this scanner or this system scanner, and they start scanning as per the words or the skills or the terminologies which you have used in the resume. Very best option is that please do not upload PDFs in the ATS friendly for the ATS friendly vacancies. ATS friendly resumes should be made. So when I say ATS friendly resume, it means that your resume should not be in PDF, but it should be more like a doc or a docx file or a plain text files, so that your application tracking system can read through it. PDFs are not very easily readable into the tracking system. So whenever you have to upload, if your HR manager says you have to upload on this particular site, so you please ask, get the confirmation, and then accordingly upload what kind of format they support. Okay, so this is very, very important nowadays. And remember, this tracking system will always highlight the skills trends, what type of experience numbers which you have. So the complete thing will go through through our automated system out here in the company. Next slide, Aaron. Apart from that, we have also got resume formats. So I don't know how many of you know that there are different resume formats prevailing in the industry today. Apart from resume formats, today we are also not only limited to the doc files or PDF files. We are also moving into the video resumes. I hope a lot of you might have heard about what is meant by video resumes. Okay, so when we talk about, first of all, let's talk about the resume formats. There are 3 types of formats which we have, which is, we will talk about it later also, one by one: reverse chronological format, functional, and combined resume. Right now, I will only stick to video resume, and I will take these 3 afterwards. So video resume are basically making a video of yourself where you are talking on a video and projecting your experience, your traits, your skills through a video itself. Okay, so today when we talk about in this particular from the 2020 rather, there are a lot of online video resumes has been the trend, and it is basically increasing in India as well. So how do we make that? We also have to understand video resumes are different from your normal resumes. So you need to be having very good and crisp script, because nobody has the time to look at your video for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You have to make a very short video, maybe a 1 minute, 1.5 minutes of video. Okay, write a script, make it relevant to what basically you want to tell it to the HR managers. Need to be really creative on that script. Okay, you cannot have just sitting like this and doing talking. It could be creative. You are trying to tell through multiple formats, or maybe doing some activities that this is what I am into, and it has to be professional at the same time. Creative doesn't mean it has to be personal, it has to be professional. It is not a TikTok video, remember, it is not a YouTube video for your promotion, it is for the interview which you want to get into. And whenever you make a video resume, float it among your friends, float it among your supervisors, or maybe your own mentors, whomsoever you get the guidance for, and take feedback. And if you think that feedback is there and you have to correct it, do rectification, and then accordingly proceed to pass it on. Okay, that's what is video resume. We wanted to show you the video resume clips, but I think we are running short of time, so I will not take that risk right now. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. Wherein we are talking about the first format, which is reverse chronological format. This is the simplest format everybody uses. What we do in this format, we basically do what? We first of all highlight our complete experience. Work history is something which we highlight, which gets followed by the skills and the education background. This is the simplest one, and which we all follow. Okay, generally we are all following like this, and this is the way we actually start our resume. Okay, we have another resume format, which is a functional resume format, where basically you are highlighting your skills. Now this is applicable most of the time for the people who are applying for the first time in the industry or for the company. For example, the freshers or the campus recruits who are just going for the first job, because they don't have an experience to show, but yeah, they have skills to show, so skills to highlight. Okay, so instead of work experience, we are highlighting skills out here. And then probably if they have done some internships or some projects under some company, that could be small professional snippet they can use, or they may not be having it, they can omit that also. So this type of format is basically required in those scenarios. And the third one we have is a combined resume format, where we are giving equal weightage to work, to skills, as well as to our education. So you can see this resume is basically highlighting all the things in an equal weightage, and there's a balanced out. Okay, so it depends upon where you are applying, what your current status is, and what kind of job you are going for. That is, you need to decide according to that the formats. Okay, next slide, Aaron. Now, apart from that, we actually have a lot of resume mistakes, and this is something which we have already seen in the initial slide when Aaron was ending up, that there are a lot of resume mistakes which we do. Definitely grammar is one thing which is uncompromisable. You have to have the correct grammar. Your unprofessional email address is not acceptable at all. Okay, you have to highlight quantifiable results. You cannot write generic statements. Okay, long paragraphs are not invited. You have to make it very, very short and crisp, and should be really to the point. Okay, so if you see this, okay, the next slide is on the online resume builder. So as I said earlier, we are not telling you out here how to write a resume, because today we have builders. Okay, where you just have to plug in your information, and the application makes this particular resume. And even the ATS systems follow these resume builders, and they support these resume builders. So there are some resume builders which is online available today, and you can obviously go through it, just see which gives you the best facility, and accordingly you can use them. Okay, so these are the certain resume builders available. And remember, these resume builders actually saves times and gives you a lot of other benefits, because at times we are also not aware what type of things should go in, and they guide you at every stage when you're making it resumes. Okay, next. So this is what we actually have to talk about in the resume building. Now we are opening the platform for question answers or any clarifications that you have, and we would like people to talk here, because we are not downloading information. There are certain things which is available everywhere. But if we are not talking and clarifying, then the session is not a very profitable one. So I would like to hear from any one of you. What was the feedback of the session? Anything else you wanted in the session, or probably any clarifications you have? We will wait for 2-3 minutes for your questions. So Shubham is saying, can you share this PPT? We will share this PPT with Mayank, who is the coordinator from the Sector Skill Council. So you can connect with Mayank and get through it.
Nobody else has shared the activity except Smriti. Smriti, I really appreciate you took part in the activity. So, like when we were discussing that you should quantify your achievements, numbers में बता दो. So, like you have written, I had conducted yoga classes to our school students. If you have mentioned, I have conducted yoga classes to 500 students or 1000 students, that will be more effective, right? Put some numbers, how many students you have conducted the classes for. And then you can put it as a number so that will be more effective, right? So others, have you not done the activity? मतलब कोई share नहीं किया? So we expected all of you to participate, but this is really disappointing. Only one person came for the completed the activity.
Any questions, any clarifications? If you have, please talk with us. Okay, we have another 2 minutes spare. We can already shoot at the time, but we can have 2 minutes. In case you don't have to say any you don't have clarifications, just say did you like the session? How was the session? Good, bad? So that it gives us a clarity also to improvise or.
So what is the new thing you
maybe a takeaway, what you have got from the session, what you learned, what was new for you? Shubham Kumar Pandey is asking for a very relevant question when he's saying, ma'am, I have a question, please tell me if I want to move in different sector but not have a relevant experience in that particular field, but have a good knowledge about that things in theoretically. So theoretically, when you say Shubham, I'm assuming that you may have got certain certifications if they are available. So if you have got a certifications available, go for it. Okay, do that certifications. If certifications are not required, then at least you may have done certain online courses which are free of cost, or maybe costed courses. You may have got some participation certificate. Those things, if you have, or certain credits from those courses, those particular things needs to be highlighted in your resume. And if you really have that knowledge, okay, try to have a certain small assignment in the online portals. Today we have got free assignments available. Do that assignments, and that you can showcase on your resume as well. So that is the way you have to actually tell the HR manager, this is the effort which I have put. This is the way I have molded myself for this next sector or the next type of a job role which I want. So Shubham says, yes, I have, but HR will not agree with that. They said we require experience. So remember, HR will not agree on that part where their vacancy says. Their vacancy is, for example, they require a business sales manager, which is like they require 15 years of experience already. There you can't apply if you're not in a sales zone, because if you are an operations manager and now you want to switch to sales manager, and that, let's say this is something which is a very, very high profile role, you cannot go into the parallel role as equal. Okay, you need to compromise on certain small roles in the same field in the sales, and then probably you have to go into the ladder. So that is a risk definitely which is associated with when you're switching to the different domains of the sector. Okay, so that study needs to be done somewhere. And सी ऐसा भी नहीं होता है कि आपने आज सोचा और आज ही आपको अपनी जॉब चेंज करना है. इसके लिए आपको मेहनत और तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी. और एक टाइमलाइन बनाना पड़ेगा अपने लिए कि अगर मुझे नेक्स्ट 6 months में इस जॉब पे जाना है तो मैंने क्या किया इस 6 महीने, right? This is some way actually you have to try. It's not that resume बनाया और देखो इंटरव्यू मिल गया. It doesn't matter like that. Okay, so that is a very different thing.
So it is also because Shubham, like उनकी requirement immediate है. They want somebody who can join immediately and get on to that work. आपके पास theoretical knowledge है, you don't have a practical knowledge, you cannot operate a machine, they cannot wait for you till the time you learn to operate the machine and work for them. So since their requirement is immediate, you are not fitting into that, right? So you have to have that practical knowledge first. Theory में इतना ज़्यादा कमी भी रहता है, practical knowledge comes first in terms of operating those machines or writing a code or things like that. Only then you can go confidently. Otherwise आपको भी confidence नहीं रहेगा if you have learned only theory. And for example cutting and tailoring में मुझे theoretically पता है how to make a shirt, right? I don't know to cut and sit in the machine and do it. Who will take me? They will not, because everybody is in the sitting on a fire. They want to recruit employees immediately and put them to work immediately, because जब join करते हो you are starting your salary from that very day one, right? Day one से आपकी salary cycle शुरू हो जाता है. But if you start working after 1 week or 10 days, they are at a loss, right? 10 days उनका कोई काम नहीं हो रहा है. So you need to look at all these aspects before you are applying.
Yeah. Any other questions or clarifications, please? How did you like the session? Session was informative, not informative. Again, a traditional session of resume building. Anything you can say? Shubham says
anything you learned new here? कोई नया सीखा है आपने? Something new you learned about resume making? Hello? Madhuri, Kulvinder, Jitender, Jabalal. What is that you learned new here? Something new you learned here today?
Kulvinder Kaur is saying knowledgeable and benefited. So Kulvinder, I hope you can implement the things now in your resume, in the next resume which you make. We're waiting to hear it from all the other people who have not spoken as yet. We've already crossed the time, so let's be a little quick.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your participation. Okay, looking forward to you in the next session. Will be another informative session. Topic will be shared with you soon. Okay, thank you so much for being a wonderful audience.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Kulvinder is saying something, writing something.
Kulvinder, we are waiting for you to type. You are trying to type for quite some time. These activities will share to other people also. Yes, definitely.
Yes, you can. You can form different words also. Different words करके उनको दे सकते हैं. If you are a trainer, if you want your students to make these kind of resumes, use different words and then you can tell them. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.